The thought of enduring an underworld scenario, including with zombies, has been encapsulated by many forms of entertainment. The terror of being the remaining survivor of an apocalypse, attempting to keep up with the undead and hoping to thrive through the days can be an exciting yet terrifying scenario for some. And although many shows and video games try to capture this feeling, what if I told you that there was a game, a hidden diamond in the avalanche of garbage zombie games from Steam? A game that truly answers the question, what would it be like surviving a zombie apocalypse?
4 loads remaining! 1 bag remaining! Incoming!
No More Room in Hell is a co-op zombie survival Half-Life mod, developed in 2011 and uploaded independently on Steam in 2013, for free, delving into the grim and realistic aspects of having to deal with the undead. And when I mean realistic, I mean intentionally, as in the HUD is practically non-existent, meaning if you want to know how much ammo you have in your gun, you have to check it. And when I mean grim, I'm referring to the fact that it included undead children, which no other zombie games have included before, and it's quite surprising to say the least. Unlike Left 4 Dead, where the fast-paced action encourages a quicker approach to dealing with the infected, No More Room in Hell advises a slower and methodical tactic, as being hasty will lead you to a zombie's grasp. What separates this game from any typical zombie survival game, you may ask? Well, this game's difficulty can be stated to be unforgiving, as a zombie biting you or swinging at you can introduce a lot of problems. From the simple health loss to bleeding that, well, not only makes you bleed, but disables your ability to sprint until you either use a bandage or a first aid kit, or even worse, cause an infection. Not only does that cause problems for the infected person, but also the people around them. You can post-pose the infection using phalanx. The pills only delay the infection by 3 minutes. You can also use gene therapy, which is incredibly rare to obtain, however it cures you from your infection, or in the most literal way possible, biting the bullet. The game also enforces the slow pacing experience. Your walking speed and stamina recovery is slowed. Reloading takes a bit longer than you expect. Your character is nonchalant with healing themselves, and even the zombies tread leisurely. Although the limitation and the threat of zombies weigh down your survival chances, you are not left empty-handed. Maneuverability is your best friend when dealing with hordes of zombies, as you can pick and choose your fights while also maintaining your stamina. And I do highly recommend preserving as much stamina as you can, so you're not caught trying to swing your weapon only for your character to be too exhausted from swinging. Teamwork in this game is top priority, as it can make the difference between being surrounded by a horde or surviving another second. Trust me, trying to solo this game is going to be hell. With the resources scattered amongst the map and the zombies just spawning in, even though you already dealt with them, sharing the resources and saving your teammates will most likely get you throughout the campaigns. With the amount of content and maps you can just endlessly consume, there are only 2 main game modes, Survival Mode and Objective Mode. I'll briefly mention Survival Mode here. In Survival Mode, you are given a task by the military to hold the zones, using barricades and remaining supplies to keep them from being overrun. All the while, the military will draw supplies to assist in your defense. Not my personal favorite, however, I can see why some people like this game mode. In the objectives, the survivors are held up in an isolated location, starting from here and completing tasks toward the last objective, where you make your way towards the distraction. Since the game will provide you a scarce amounts of resources for the team, giving you a firearm or 2 with barely any ammo to spare, you will have to rely on melee weapons. If you're worried about the same map becoming tedious, don't you worry, as each time you restart the map, the objectives change. You may have to do one pathway and complete that sort of assignment, or on the exact same map, have to go down a completely different path with a completely different list of objectives. Oh, and if you see any welders, hoard it, as there might be a moment where you might have to deal with doors, and it's a very useful panic weapon. During the game, you will encounter a collected swords of the undead. As mentioned before, we have the zombie children, the common undead that can be dealt with simply if alone, however become a major threat once they start grouping up, clogging up choke points and escapes. The runners that are squishy, however the ability to run makes them very dangerous to fight against. Military zombies that are just walking item dispensers, and crawlers that, well, crawl. The variety doesn't end with maps or zombies. The developers went far with the weapon selections, with the huge and beefy weapons like the pickaxe or the sledgehammer that cleave through zombies with the power of God. However, it kills your stamina. And weapons with great personalities like the pipe wrench or the kitchen knife so you can impersonate an average London citizen. Personally, I don't need any weapons. My fists are all I need. Despite being such an old game, you clearly see that the developers poured their heart and soul into the environment of the game, filling with that inner feeling of dread. The cars parked around you, the abandoned or boarded up buildings, and what used to be a peaceful and loving place, now crawling with the undead. Each map, each corridor, and each location reveals a story about themselves. No dialogue to explain to you what is happening. Let the atmosphere be absorbed into your head. And with that music, all blend together to forge your own stories as you play this game. It is a reminder on where you are and what is happening, that inner feeling of sorrow and hope, hoping to arrive towards safety. The weapons themselves have that impact. Swinging a melee or firing off a gun leaves that notion of a blow. It's quite satisfying on how well sounded and well registered each hits land, and I will say, I do recommend you don't go around wasting your ammo or your stamina on these walking stress balls. However, if it were to so happen that you have a couple of bullets to spend and you see some of them, I wouldn't blame you for going off on them. The models of these weapons and tools have that powerful visual of presentation, especially on the firearms. You can tell that they tirelessly made sure that the guns worked and acted properly. From a Half-Life mod to an official game and throughout its runtime, it still holds a relatively decent amount of people that still play this game. And, with the added features of a mod community and custom servers, some with their own mods and maps. Like I said before, it's completely free, unless of course you buy the official soundtrack, but that's optional. I had the best moments of suspense while playing this game, and hopefully it can do the same thing for you.